The stories that you tell yourself are creating your reality. My name is Adrienne Grace. I'm a manifestation coach and an intuitive. And today I want to talk about your concept of yourself and how the stories that you're telling yourself are creating your reality and potentially keeping you stuck where you are. So 95% of all of our thoughts, behaviors, and actions are subconscious. So we basically have these programs that are running in our subconscious mind about how we think, how we feel, and how we act. And so we are in a habit of the person we believe ourselves to be. You just have a habitual way of thinking, feeling, and acting that you play day in and day out. And then those thoughts and feelings are imprinting your subconscious mind over and over again, and you're just creating the same result over and over again. I want you to think about the things in your life that you desire to manifest. Maybe it's more money, maybe it's a different relationship, maybe it's a new job, whatever it is. What are the stories that you tell yourself about these things? A great thing to do is actually to take out a piece of paper. In fact, you can pause this video right now and do this and write on the top it, what do I believe to be true about myself? What do I believe to be true about my job or my relationship or about money? You want to uncover what are these beliefs that you have? What are you telling yourself? You might be quite surprised as you start writing that you're saying things like, well, this can happen for other people, but it's never going to happen for me, or I've always been bad with money, or I just don't think a relationship like that actually exists. You will start to uncover some of these stories that you're subconsciously believing on a deep level. And those stories are standing in the way between where you are and where you want to be. So it's important to get them out of your mind and onto paper. And actually, like, writing connects you directly with your subconscious mind. So even if you believe that as you're watching this or listening to this, and if you're walking down the street, like, okay, what do I believe to be true? You might not be able to access it. So I do really encourage you to write it down. And then know that those things, like, you can question them. Why do you believe that to be true? Why do you believe that it's possible for other people and not possible for you? Why do you believe that you're bad with money? Did somebody tell you that one time? Or it's just this conclusion that came from something and then you just created a story around it? What you put your focus on and then the meaning that you give it is creating your reality. And so the more you can neutralize these past things that maybe you have this story around and you can prove them to be untrue, then you can start creating a new story. Now, I talk about self-concept a lot, and it's something that I help my clients with all the time, is understanding who you're being. Because the universe doesn't give you what you want, it's giving you who you are. And what does that mean, who you are? It's who you are being. It's the thoughts that you're thinking. It's the emotions that you're feeling. And again, it's a habit. The thinking and the emotions that you have every day are a habit. And that's why people find it difficult to change, because they're in this habit every day. And you have to bring a lot of conscious awareness to yourself, to these thoughts, to these feelings, and change them in order to create a new reality, in order to be somebody else. Now, on another piece of paper, I want you to think about what it is that you desire, whether it's more money or that job or a new house or a partner, whatever it is. And then I want you to get crystal clear about not only what it is that you want, but who that version of you is that has that. Because that version of you is very specific. They are thinking certain things, they are feeling certain things, and they are doing certain things. And it's definitely not the same things that you're doing right now. Otherwise, your reality would have shifted already. And so, for example, if you desire more money and you tune into this version of you who is super wealthy and has money coming in from all different sources, right? I want you to feel into that, and maybe you feel relief, and maybe you feel just grateful and supported and comfortable. And that version of you is never going to have a worry about money because there's ample always coming into you and you have ample in your bank account. So worrying about money isn't even a thought. And then your feelings, you're not going to feel stressed. You're not going to feel worried. You're going to be more relaxed. Now, I want you to remember too that that version of you who has all of those things is also not like so excited. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that I have this. You actually want to make it feel comfortable and safe for your mind. Anytime you make something a big deal to your mind and you put it on a pedestal and you wish and you hope and you pray for it, your mind is actually going to start seeing that very thing as unsafe. And that is a surefire way to not attract your desires to you. One of the best things that you can do is just think about how cool, calm, collected, confident you would be if you had that. And like, it's no big deal. Oh yeah, $100,000 came in today and that's totally normal for me. You actually want to get your body, your mind, your nervous system, everything completely comfortable with that amount of wealth. Because you're not going to be able to attract it if you still think that it's a lot. Okay, so you want to get your mind to see it as safe and as something very natural. So when you write out this version of you who has these things, make it seem like it's no big deal, that this is just your reality now. It is who you are, and it is what happens to you in your life. And that is how you can make it start to feel safe for not just your mind, but also your body and your nervous system. Now, one of the best times that you can do this work and start really feeling into these new emotions is first thing in the morning and right before you go to sleep. If you're not doing these things at those two times, then it almost doesn't really matter as much what you're doing during the day. Yes, it does help, but those two times you are in a very specific brainwave state. Your brainwaves slow down and your subconscious mind opens up and it's more suggestible at that time. And so when you start to do these things, read maybe who you are, you living in the way you want to be living, who has everything that you desire. Read that statement first thing in the morning and before you go to sleep at night. And then as you lay in bed, really imagine that that is your life. Maybe think about, okay, I'm in this bed, but this bed has really luxurious sheets, and maybe you're on vacation somewhere beautiful, and maybe this partner is laying right next to you. And really feel into that as much as you can right before you go to sleep. This takes a lot of focus and will in training your mind. And so it's something that you want to really work on every day. And I also highly recommend meditation during the day too. Meditation is not only going to help you focus by just focusing on your breath, but then it's also going to help you get into that slow, suggestible state again so that you can start doing these reenactments at that point as well. So I know it's a lot, and oftentimes if you've been on a manifesting journey for a little while now, you might be thinking like, well, I still don't have this and I still don't have that. And it's because we can gather a lot of information on manifesting. There's a ton of information out there, right? Even on YouTube, there's so much. There's information about this all over social media. And we can learn a lot about this. But if we're not directly reprogramming our subconscious mind, then it's all kind of for nothing, right? Just knowing something doesn't mean that you're actually going to do it. There's a really big gap between what most people know and what they actually do. So in order to close that gap, you really need to do some subconscious work. And the best time to do that is before bed and first thing in the morning. And the great part about that is that you don't really need that much extra time to do all these activities throughout the day. Right? You're going to be laying in bed before you go to sleep no matter what. And so that's a perfect time for you to think about this dream that you have and to visualize and to really be in the energy of it. The other thing I want to mention too is that think about that version of you. That version of you isn't feverishly doing all these things because this desire is outside of them. No, again, they're cool, they're calm, they're collected, they know they attract, they know their power, they know that they have the power to create their own reality. And so they're not in this frenetic state, they're centered and they move with confidence. So think about that as you go through your day too. As you catch yourself replaying some of these old stories or thinking, why hasn't this happened for me yet? Or maybe I need to do something else in order to manifest this. Catch those thoughts and pause. Take 3 conscious breaths going from your head down to your heart, and just maybe affirm some I am statements. I am wealthy. I am safe. I am magnetic. Whatever it is that feels good. You can even ask yourself if an affirmation isn't cutting it, if you can't quite believe the affirmation, ask yourself, well, what would it feel like to be really confident? What would it feel like to be really wealthy? As Neville Goddard says in his book, Power of Awareness, in order to be wealthy, you have to be conscious of being wealthy. So how do you become conscious of being wealthy? You have to feel into that state of wealth. So use that time before bed, first thing in the morning, to reprogram your subconscious mind. But write down, what are these stories that you're telling yourself? And then be aware as they come up through the day so you can start to shift, realizing that those stories are creating specific imprints on your subconscious mind. And then that is what's perpetuating your reality. We want to start changing the stories. We want to start imprinting something new onto your subconscious mind. I would love to hear how you get on with this. So please share in the comments if you do this and how it goes. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for more. Thanks.